Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 2020 Winter Solstice group frequency calibration. We have hundreds of people participating on this call or on the Zoom meeting. And thank you very much to all of you who've been sharing it with people that you care about or are very curious about not only this particular moment in time, but what's happening more generally speaking. We have people from all over the world participating. So it's a very exciting opportunity for all of us. So why am I giving this for free? What is so important about this particular time? So the winter solstice is always a very powerful time and has been for millennia. And it has been celebrated with varying degrees of participation, depending on what's being oppressed and not, by many different peoples. And it's a time when we go from the greatest of hours in the darkness, greatest number of hours, in the darkness, to now an expanding number of at first minutes and then hours into the sunlight. It is during this time that the veils are thin. So what is special about this particular winter solstice? Well, it's as powerful as ever. I mean, it's still the winter solstice. And as a result, because the veils are thin, the non-ordinary reality becomes more open to us. Additionally, we have this thing in the sky that's happening, this grand conjunction between, I believe, Jupiter and Saturn. I'm not a big astrology person, so I believe that's correct. And people are calling it the Star of Bethlehem and all these different things. And it hasn't happened for a few hundred years that they're coming so close in proximity to each other. In addition, or from my perspective, what is the most exciting is that this winter solstice also represents a doorway that is opening to the newer, higher level frequencies that are becoming more and more available to more and more of us. So I just want to clarify to me what it means to be the new consciousness frequencies, and what does that mean, and what is available to us. There's a lot of talk going on around this right now, and I find that it could be probably very confusing depending on who you're listening to. So from my perspective, these newer, higher level frequencies that I'm talking about are, like I said, what I'm calling the new consciousness. So not everybody has access to the new consciousness frequencies. Okay, it's not about whether you're chosen or not chosen. Okay, it really has to do with something very simple. Is your frequency resonance high enough? Have you released enough of your distortion patterns, the heaviness of it, to get to a higher enough frequency resonance in order to be able to integrate and access the higher level frequencies that are becoming more available to us? That's it. It's kind of, and it's not like, it's not, what do you call it, like a switch that flips on and off, right? It's just once you start to gain access to these frequencies because you yourself are of a higher vibrating order, it goes infinitely on from there. It's kind of like the awakening process. It's not, like I said, it's not binary. It's not like you're not and then you are awakened. It's actually more of a doorway or a threshold, right? So once you come into awakening, and I'm just going to back up. What do I mean by awakening? Okay, just from my perspective, there's a lot of hoopla around awakening. But from my perspective, awakening simply means that you're of a high enough resonance, that frequency resonance, that you, not from an intellectual standpoint, but from an experiential knowingness standpoint, realize that the physical reality is an illusion and that your true essence is indestructible, infinite consciousness. That's it. So once you have that awareness, then the doorway to the infinite opens to you and awakening continues. It's an infinite process. It's not like just this switch that flips, right? You just keep going. It's like the threshold, the beginning, okay, of that experience into the infiniteness of spirit level. So anyway, transitioning to this new consciousness that I've been mentioning before is similar. Okay, we are starting to walk through the threshold of this doorway to be able to access these higher level frequency resonance, okay, which is really exciting. And from there, of course, there's infinitely more. So frequency work creates stability so that you can not only on spirit level, but also on the physical, be able to integrate and physically start to resonate higher so that you can start to take in these higher level frequencies, like I said, both on the physical and the spirit level. So that's really important. So let's see. This group frequency, I'm trying to talk fast because I know this is only like a half an hour to 40-minute free GFC, and there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on. So I'm trying to like make this super brief because it's a really mixed group, right? Some of you guys have been following my work for a very long time, and some of you are like, who the heck is this woman? And why is my friend making me come to this thing? So anyway, I'm trying to make it suitable for all of you guys. So the reason this group frequency calibration is particularly important is because, as you may or may not know, there are many different cultures currently celebrating this particular winter solstice because it is known to them. I'm talking about often native peoples' ceremonies, okay? Because it is known to them that we're on this cusp of this time. It has been foretold for a long time that this is going to happen. Now everyone's like, well, finally, here it is. Okay. So that is why so many ceremonies are happening right now. I'm just going to preface this conversation by saying I am not an expert on Australian Aboriginal culture, nor am I an expert in Dreamtime. Okay. Just putting it like really clearly out there. However, Dreamtime has been knocking on my door. Okay, so it has made itself like obvious to me, and it has become into my awareness that there is a very special ceremony done, in Australian time in Uluru, and I probably said that wrong. I'm sorry if I did. I don't mean to offend anybody. But in any case, it was done at 9:02, I think, p.m. Uluru time. So this ceremony was very important. Why? It was important from my perspective, and I'm sure the elders would say something different. However, from my perspective, this ceremony was important because it had to do with Dreamtime and the new consciousness order that we're moving into. So let me back up again. Okay. When you enter the higher level consciousness frequencies of the new consciousness, what does that mean? It means that you are in a new space-time resonance. It means the vibrational rate of that consciousness level is higher than what is here. It's quite simple. All right. All the different realities, all the different consciousnesses are simply distinguished by their time-space resonance. That's it. Okay. So the higher in resonance you are, the more able you are to access different space-time or time-space resonances, depending on what dimensional level that we're accessing. That's a conversation for another time. Okay? So this ceremony was important because the Earth herself has moved into a new space-time resonance of the new consciousness. The Earth, just in case you don't know this, holds many consciousness levels at one go. All right? So it's not like you're going to move into the new consciousness and suddenly be on another planet. You're just going to be at a different consciousness resonance or a different space-time resonance on the Earth. Okay? So anyhow, what's important about that is that the Earth has opened this access to this consciousness level that is held by her, to us, which is very important in terms of how we physically manifest in our experience of the physical reality. The ceremony that was done has to do, from my perspective, to do with Dreamtime. Dreamtime, in part, and I don't pretend to understand this whole thing, but from my understanding, has to do with the collective dream of the Earth, of the planet, how we collectively dream our experience here on this Earth. And also, very importantly, how we co-create our reality. Dreamtime has shifted into the new consciousness, which means that we are waking up to our own sovereignty as co-creators, that we are, in fact, co-creating in real time. This is extremely important, and we're remembering it. And as we move into the new consciousness, this changes the game in terms of creation manifestation and our experience of the oneness. Okay? I just said a whole bunch of stuff in there. If you are curious about this and it seems like not enough time, there is a free podcast/vlog on our website where I delve into the new consciousness quite a bit more, in addition to a whole bunch of other topics around spirit or how things work from spirit level. So, okay, the more of us who are doing this work, okay, in terms of frequency work. So the more frequency work you do, the more distortion patterns you release. Now, just as an aside, frequency work isn't the only way, obviously, to raise your frequency resonance. You can do it in any number of ways. It's simply the fastest way that I found, okay? And it's the work that I do. So in any case, the higher in resonance you become, the more able you are to access this new form of dream time, this new space-time resonance of the earth that we are calling the new consciousness. Alrighty? So, let's see. As we move up in our frequency resonance, the more impact we have on everything. Your families, your community, humanity, the oneness. So thank you for joining, because the work that we are going to do today in the group frequency calibration has a massive ripple effect. And that is why I've been called to give it for free. Okay, so that it's a gift for all of you. And the ripple effect of this gift is massive. And this is a time of transition, okay? Like, again, this is not like ping, all of a sudden you're in the new consciousness and before you weren't. It's a transition time. All right. For those of you who don't know what a group frequency calibration is, for the new people who are like, whoa, she talks really fast. And that was a lot. It was a lot. You don't have to understand everything I'm saying to you. Just being in the resonance of what I'm generating for you. All right, in terms of frequency level. That's all that's required. You don't need to understand it mentally. It's really not that relevant. So again, for those of you who don't know what a group frequency calibration is, it's very much like a guided meditation, except I'm removing the distortion patterns from you at frequency level, and I'm pushing your frequency resonance up, right? Which is very important, as we have just discussed. Now, you may feel things physically. You may feel tinglies, or you may feel goosebumps, or you may feel buzzing in your spine or in your body. You may feel nothing. You may feel the distortion patterns physically being removed. Some people experience that. You may fall asleep. Why is that not a bad thing? It's not. Why may you be falling asleep? It's because the frequencies that I'm generating and working on are high enough, especially when we're talking about something important like this, that sometimes especially if you have a strong mind, your higher self will kick you into sleep so that you can integrate more of the frequency work much more easily rather than being in your head. All right. It allows you to, it's a mechanism to allow you to take in more of the work. And when I first started frequency work, that would happen to me sometimes. And what I would do is I would listen to the replay of this, or the frequency work I was listening to, over and over again until I could remain awake through the entire work. And then I knew that I had integrated all those higher level frequencies. Okay, in case that's helpful to you. All right. Whew! Here we go. Here we go. Here's where the rubber hits the road, folks. We are going to move into the group frequency calibration. That's what you're all here for. All right. Becoming aware of your body. And as you become aware of your body, becoming aware of your entire back body, from the crown of your head all the way down the back of your skull, the back of your neck, your arms, back, butt, legs, all the way down to your heels. Good. Becoming aware, please, of the soles of your feet. Noticing what they are touching, if they're hot or cold. Just noticing the soles of your feet. Good. And now please become aware of your breath without changing it at first, just noticing your breath for just a couple of seconds. Noticing if you need to, quote unquote, improve it, if you judge it, if you feel it needs to be different. And then notice if you judge that. Just notice. Good. And now, if you haven't already, taking this moment to deepen your breath. To allow it to become more full. To fill not only your front body, like your chest, but also your back body. And if you can, notice if your breath can sink even lower into your belly and into your lower back. Yeah. Good. And now please become aware of your surroundings. Noticing the quality of the air. We take it for granted, but it does have a texture. Noticing its humidity, its temperature, its movement. And now becoming aware of the soundscape around you. Noticing the sound both on your end and my end. Those little sounds you don't normally notice. The humming of a fridge, the clinking of a radiator, the hum of traffic. And then notice the direction from which the sound is coming. Good. And now please triangulate. So for those of you who are new, that means blinking your eyes open and becoming aware of 3 inanimate objects in the space around you. What those objects are is not important. You're going to become aware of each of these objects, their distance from you, and then feel that distance. So, for example, object A may be the desk. The desk is about 5 foot away from you. Then feel the distance between the desk and you. And you'll do the same thing for objects B and C. And what you'll find is that as you do this, your sense of where you are in space clarifies or becomes more present for you. And for those of you who are more experienced with triangulating and have already completed, bringing your attention to your heart space in the center of your chest, in your nipple line. So with your attention in your heart space, we're now going to take one deep breath together, holding your breath for a count of 5. And when you are exhaling, exhale all the air out of your lungs at the speed that is comfortable for you, holding your exhaled breath out for a count of 6. And while we wait for the mastermind to coalesce, please note that I'm working on you at the group and the subgroup level, and that I often work in silence, especially when I'm working with very high frequencies. To make physical noise only lowers the frequency resonance. And I also do make physical noise. So you might hear me hum or exhale or yawn. And that's usually when I'm removing lower, denser patterns, okay, that are a little bit stickier. And also, please note that if I say something that really resonates with you, it's likely yours. And if I say something that you very much resist, it's likely yours. So I invite you to remain open and to explore further. Waiting for the mastermind. There we go. So now that the mastermind has coalesced, we're going to ask ourselves the following question to ourselves in our own minds. That question is, how can I become even more aware of my connection only to pure source? For those of you who are new, how can I become even more aware of my connection only to pure source? And as you ask yourself that question, please imagine, sense, feel, or become aware of the space at the center of your body. And you'll notice that this space is surprisingly vast. And please imagine that at the very center of this space, there is a brilliance that you either see or feel, and that intensifies because you have your attention on it. And as it intensifies, it expands outwards through all of your cells, expanding out through your organs, through your bones, out through your flesh and your muscles, through the pores of your skin, into the space between your physical body and the outer perimeter of your spirit body, which is a sphere at arm's length all around you. Please become very aware of the brilliance within the sphere. Good. And now, please become aware of the space all around the sphere. And as you become aware of this infinite space, I'm working on you at spirit level to increase your frequency resonance, irrespective of where it began. Mm-hmm. Bringing your attention, please, to your heart space in the center of your chest, in your nipple line, in addition to the center point of your solar plexus, which is between your belly button and the base of your sternum. So first, pushing us all hard into the 0 point of space, the center point of your body. Yeah. And the 0 point of time. The present moment in linear time. In order to access any kind of co-creation, you must be in the 0 point of space and time. Pulling you all in. Yeah. And some of you have pretty severe time distortions where you will be in the future all the time. Okay? Because you're worried a lot, or you're fearful, anxious, you're afraid of the unknown and what will happen. Not all of you, just a few. But as a result, you're time distorting. When you're in the future or the past, you have no or very, very little ability to co-create, pulling you all into the present moment of linear time. Bringing your attention now to the space between the vertebrae in your neck. Excuse me. As you bring your attention to this space, and I'm surprised we can do this, given the variety in this group. We're pulling all of us into the new space-time resonance of the Earth that is now open to us. Yep. And as I'm doing this, also releasing the distortion pattern of expectation, okay, and an overactive mind of what all of this means. These are all mental projections, okay, releasing the distortion pattern of the mind's need to know, to have certainty, to have stability from its standpoint. This is not from spirit's standpoint. This is from the mind, inherently unstable. Releasing this. Mm-hmm. Helping you to integrate this new space-time resonance into your central nervous system, so you can integrate both on physical and spirit level. The physical typically lags, slower in resonance. There we go. So depending on what your resonance is, this will be harder or easier for you to integrate. And the length of time you've been doing this work is not a determining factor. It simply has to do with your resonance. That's it. some of you may find that your distortion patterns get louder in the next couple of days because you're being pulled very high up in resonance. So it's almost like it pushes out of you all of your distortion, not all, a number, okay? Which may feel kind of intense for some of you who are new. So maybe that you see all of your stuff way more loudly as it comes out. So just so you know, I didn't put anything into you. You're simply pushing out the heaviness of the distortion pattern that has always been around you. In those moments, remembering to watch yourself as if you're watching a film and to become very aware of your body. That will center you in the present moment of time and will allow you to facilitate the confirming of the removal of that pattern. Very important tool. Good. Yeah. Becoming aware now, please, of the very center point in the front of your throat. The back half of your brain. And your heart space, please. I'm going to push all of us into this new, higher level order of Dreamtime for as long as I can. Meaning before you all distort to a place where it's not beneficial to you. Okay? So we're going to push you all up into this space. Imagining yourself with bare feet standing on dusty red earth. You can feel the fineness of that dust between your toes and under the balls of your feet. And as you stand on this earth that is red and dusty, noticing or imagining the blue sky in contrast to the redness of the earth. And as you stand on the earth, it's almost like you can imagine feeling the reverberations of all the footsteps of all the people on the earth through your feet. And as you stand on this earth that's covered with this fine red dust, and you under that blue, blue sky. Through your feet, you can feel the vibration of every plant and every tree on the earth that hum with their own specific tone. And you feel it through your feet. Mhm. And as you marvel at that blue sky, and the fineness of the dust under your feet, you can feel the waters of the earth, whatever that means to you. Through your feet, and soon, as you become stiller and stiller, standing on this red, fine, dusty ground, you can feel the hum of the earth. Mm-hmm. And this is the earth in the new space-time of the new consciousness. Good. Bringing your attention to your pineal gland, the very center of your brain. Helping the physical mechanism which projects your reality to upgrade, to be able to better take in these newer, higher frequencies. attention now, please, to your xiphoid process, right at the base of your sternum, which is that big, thick bone in the center of your chest, where your ribs meet in front of your body. Right at the base of that is your xiphoid process. So becoming aware of your xiphoid process and about 3 inches or 7 centimeters directly beneath it, towards your belly button in a straight line, helping you to clear out and reset your pain body, which has a memory of you before we did this work. So we're clearing it out and integrating it into the newer, higher resonating version of yourself. So that integration is much, much faster and much smoother. Good. Whenever you're ready, taking a nice deep breath in, holding your breath for a second or two, and then exhaling with some sound. Good. You can either blink your eyes open or just keep your eyes closed. So thank you all for participating. You may or may not be aware of the impact you are having into the oneness. By embodying this higher level frequency, you are allowing for more in the collective to be able to entrain to it, to embody that frequency themselves potentially. So it's a very important what you have just done. So thank you for participating. For some of you, this will be the last thing you do with Spherical Luminosity. And again, I thank you for participating. For others of you, you will be interested in more work. If you are, there is the free resource of the podcasts and the blogs on the website. There is also, if you are new, a where to start section, which gives you roadmaps for if you're new, if you want help with relationships or finance or health or just spiritual acceleration, not just the big one. If you want that, that's available under where to start on the website. And if you want to further explore this work, there is also a free 1.5-hour webinar on coherence called Coherence Foundation, which can help you not only accelerate on spirit level, but also create a tremendous change on the physical. So I thank you all for being here, and I wish you and yours the warmest and the happiest of holiday seasons. Bye.